Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a new project. This is another project for Scrap and Create, and we are going to be making a mini album using Stamperia Winter Tales. You can get all of your supplies at Scrap and Create. I'll have a link down below, and I will have a link down below to the cutting guide for this project. Now you may recognize this. We have worked with it before. Last year I did an album with this, loved it, and am very excited to be working with it again. They have come up with some new items to go with it, so that's why I wanted to work with it again. But let me show you. This is the book that I made last year. This is an 8x8, so I'm going to do a different size this time, but if you're interested in doing an 8x8, then check my playlist, look for Stamperia Winter Tales. I think that's what I called it, either Winter Tales or Stamperia Winter Tales. And you'll find the videos for this project if you want to do an 8x8. Okay, so what I have is two 8x8 and two 12x12. That is kind of my standard, what I buy from Stamperia to make a book. So that's that. Set that aside. And then I have this set of wooden shapes. There's more than one. This is the one I have. I have the collectibles, which I love. This is just a book full of fussy cuts that you can do and embellishments. I have this rice paper. It's a little different than what we usually work with. They didn't have kind of an overall design, but I think that we will collage this for our spine. It's really, I think that's what we're going to do anyway. Haven't decided fully. There are two sets of chipboards, and I actually already opened some of these and put them into one of these zipper envelopes, and they have holes so they can go in a ring binder if you want to save all your stuff. So they're actually called, I forget what I call them. They're called die cuts, and there's two sets. I opened the other set already. Let's see. There it is. So these are the two. This one has like the little window and a lantern, and this one has a wreath and a lantern on the front. And this says Winter Tales in blue, and this one says Winter Tales in white. But I'll have them linked down below. I'm just looking to see if there's anything to indicate. There isn't. They have, obviously they have different stock numbers, but anyway, I have both sets. So let's put those there. Okay. And then these zip. I really like these. I got them on Amazon, and I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about them, but I do like them. So that's that. Okay, so let me set these aside. We won't need these yet, I don't think. And I'll be working again with navy cardstock. I just think it's the best for this particular collection, but you can use whatever color you think you'd like. And I have here all of my pieces that I've cut. So I think that we are ready to go. Yet the only thing I don't have is my tape and my scoreboard. So let me grab those. This is 3/8 inch score tape. Okay. Now I do have a bigger scoreboard, but I like this little one. I use the bigger one when I have no choice, but alright, so what I've done, let me set this aside. I used a white gel pen, I think, on most of these to do the size. So that's page 4, page 3, page 3, and then these are two base pages. Okay, so I'm just getting myself organized here. And then I have page 1, okay, so we're going to need that. Then page 2. This one is marked. What is it? This is also page 1. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 8. Okay. I don't think I need anything else to get started. All right. I'll get those reorganized. I had them all organized, but I didn't have them in that little envelope, and my cat dropped them on the floor, so they got disorganized. that's page 1, that's page 2, that's page 1, and I need a base. All the bases are the same. So you will need for each base page 2 pieces that are 7.5 by 5.5. So the finished size of this book is going to be, or the pages are going to be 5.5 by 7. Okay. And what we want to do is score one short end. You can go ahead and make all 4 base pages at once, just so you have them ready. So we're, whoops, jump the line. And I am putting the tape on the side with the divot. I like to fold towards the mountain side, which is the side with the bump. Get my tape tear. Some people can just magically tear their score tape. I am not one of those people. Ginger Rock, my sister scrapper, who very sadly recently passed away, used to be able to do it, and I was just watching amazement. How she did it, I don't know. I was always going to ask her, and I never did. So we have our tape on the side with the divot, fold it towards the side with the little bump, and burnish. And I have a little mark there where I jumped out of the groove on my scoreboard, but it'll be fine. It'll be covered by a minute. Then, to make your base pages, you're going to take this one here, okay, like that, and then this one we're going to put opposite, so this here is going to go there, okay? And I haven't mentioned it in a while, but I don't see very well, and that's not like a facetious, you know, oh my goodness, I'm so blind. No, I really can't see. So I do have to lift these up in order to line them up, but what I'm going to do is show you. I'm just going to line this up just like that where these 2 corners meet, and I have to pull it off camera to do that so I can see it. Okay, so I've lined them up. Okay, and then you're just going to line it up across here. And you know what? I just realized I told you something wrong. These are 5.5 wide, but the finished size is going to be 5 by 7, not 5.5 by 7. I did it this way because I'm always telling you that you can cut them wider if you want, and I never do it. So I thought I'm going to do it so I can show you. So this is 5.5, the finished size is going to be 5. Okay, so then I'm just going to line this corner up the same way. Now, the reason that I cut this wider is because sometimes they don't line up perfectly. Everything's not just exactly so. So now that I have this, I'm going to cut it down to 5 wide, and that'll give me something exactly 5 with perfectly lined up edges. Okay, you do not have to do it this way. You can cut it by 5 if you want. And I think that may even be what I have in the cutting guide. I'm not sure. But I'm going to go trim this to 5 inches wide. Okay, so now I have a base that's exactly 5 inches wide. Now, that's page 2. This is page 1. And I need my book. Where's my book? Hang on. Oh, there it is. Oh, sorry. I live near a hospital, and sometimes helicopters go over. There's a trauma center there. So, okay, winter tales. Here we go. I keep all my little page sketches in here. All right, so remind me what I'm doing. And they're a mess. I don't try to make it look neat. They're there for my, just my use only, so they are what they are. Okay, so this has got 2 flaps. Now, you know what, hang on. Let me grab this and talk about this for a minute. All right, so this is the 8x8. The last time that I worked with this, and the album that I just showed you, that album was predicated in great, like I designed around the 12x12 collection, and the height of these pieces, these designs. If you notice, as I go through, all of these right-hand pages have large-scale, beautiful, sort of dramatic things on them. And I wanted to feature that. And in order to feature it, I needed a book that was as big as I made it, because I was using the 12x12 primarily. So kind of what I decided to do was the opposite with this book, and use the 8x8 size for these pieces. And if you'll notice, on the back sides of all of them are these beautiful, more subdued background prints. So I'll be using, in that book, I used background prints from the 8x8 and the main pieces more from the 12x12. So in this case, I'm going to do it reversed. I'm going to take a lot of the backgrounds from the 12x12, and the more designy kind of pages are going to come from the 8x8. Just so you know how we came up with this plan. Okay? So, that being the case, I have tried to allow for quite a few very large areas for mats, and also because it is a smaller book, the larger pages and flaps and things will allow more room for pictures. So on these pieces, we are going to score the long side at 1/2 inch, and these are 7 by 5.5. Can't remember what I was going to do with that, or I would, hang on, let me take a look. Where's page 2? Okay, all right, hang on. So I have a 5 by 7 piece for page 2 that just needs to be scored on the short edge. So as long as I have my scoreboard and tool out, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Okay. And what did I do? Oops. Tape. And I am doing another winter sort of themed book, but I don't have that paper yet. And I think I might sneak in another Christmas one. I just can't decide what to do. I have paper that I've had for a couple years in my stash that I want to use. And I was looking at it the other day. I almost started with that project first, but I couldn't make up my mind what to do with it. So we may do a craft with me with that, where I just fumble along and make something without any idea what it is until it's done. You always want to burnish your tape after you put it down. I can't remember if I did on these. I hope I did. And I am going to trim my corners. You don't have to, but I like to reduce that bulk along the edge where these pieces are going. And I'm sorry if I'm off camera. This goes back to not being able to see. I'm just cutting like that. Just make sure you don't cross that score line that you just made. Okay. trying to be better about putting my tools in my little holder, which I still have to get something quieter. But okay, so let me set aside this one because this is for page 2. Here's our base. I quite like working on this hard surface for this burnishing. I do get a nicer, I think, crease. Wrong way. I will say I do strongly recommend for your bone folder one of these a little bit softer silicone, I think they're made out of, ones, rather than something like, hang on, I know I have another one, let me see. I know, hang on. Okay, so for instance, this comes with this, okay? This is great for scoring, and it's fine, but I would not burnish with something like this that's hard, okay? And the reason for that is it actually somewhat damages your paper. It puts a shine on the paper, which I don't like at all. So that's why I pretty much only use this, or one like it. And again, I am going to line this up. This is a tube, remember, that we just made, and I'm going to line it up with this upper corner here. Okay, and then we're going to line the bottom piece up, the bottom corner I should say, and move the tape, and there we go. Okay, and then we're going to add a second one, and this one's going to get lined up on this corner. I think, hang on. No, if I put it in here, which would be perfectly fine, you can open it and open it that way. If we do that, we're going to have to trim this to make it fit. So I think what I'm going to do is put it out here so that it opens this way, and we'll get that, and then the whole thing opens this way, and you get that. Okay? So we just put this on. Okay? We're going to sort of close it and turn it, and this is where we're going to line up this one. Okay? Just like that, and I'm going to open it so I can make sure I'm lining up properly. Like that. There we go. Okay, so now what we have is this. So it'll open and open. Okay? So we need a magnet, 2 magnets. This is a smaller book. It's only 7 inches tall, so I think we can get away with just 2 magnets for this. Hello, Holly. Sorry, my cat just arrived. Okay. Idea where I want this, which is right about there. Oops, come back, hang on. It doesn't matter too much as long as it's not too close to the edge. Alright, and hi. Sorry, she's up on my chair with me. There we go. Let's see, I need a scrap. Usually I have a million scraps around. Here's a scrap. It's a little big, but it'll work. I have some of this collection around too, but I don't think I'm going to get to another one with this year. I've already made 3 projects, I think, with that this year. So I think the rest can wait till maybe next year or in the summer. Oh, hang on. This is not where I want that. Let me think for a moment. I actually want it in there. So hang on a moment. All right, hang on. So this needs to go about here. That's on the base. And then this one, I have to remove. Okay. Hey, Holly. Well, you guys don't get to see Holly very often. Usually it's Jolly. This is Holly. And she wants to eat that. Yeah, let's grab that from you, okay? All right. So now, do I have that in the right place? I do, okay. So this one, oh, hang on. You know how I always talk about I have to move these? Well, that's why, because she likes to eat them. Okay, sorry, had to give her some attention and then finally had to evict her, but I think she's headed back. She's like a toddler. Everything goes in her mouth, and what doesn't go in her mouth gets knocked over by her tail. Okay, so what I want to do is I want this to go here, right? So I'm going to put it down there, and there's a lot of layers for this to go through, so hopefully it sticks. If it doesn't, we'll work something else out. Okay, so I can move that because this is going to achieve the same goal, I think. Okay, put this under here. But that's okay. All right, there. Okay, page 1. It's going to open like that. Okay, and then page 2, super easy. If I could find the piece that I made, I had to get it out of Holly's grasp. This is going to get put up here. It's a vertical flap, but it's going to be a little short, so you'll get to see what's below it as well as what's on it. So super simple page, but effective. When you're making a smaller book like this one, which, you know, I'm saying it's smaller, but it's not that small, and it's going to use a lot of paper. I can tell you that right now. But just the pages are not that spacious. You kind of want to limit, so make sure I got that straight. Yeah, you want to limit too many flips and flaps and pockets. I mean, you want enough to make the book interesting and fun, but if you put too many, you won't have anywhere to put pictures at all. Plus, you'll have to put pretty small mats, and in some collections that's great. Small mats look great. But if you're trying to really feature the paper, as is the case with many Stamperia collections, this one in particular, you need some big spaces. So in the interests of A, having a place for photos, and B, showing off your papers, you do better to keep things a little simpler. What am I doing? Duh. Okay, hang on. There. There are other ways of putting down magnets. I've always said I'm going to do them, but I never do because this is just how I'm used to it. And it works for me. going to take this little scrap and put that there. Okay, pages 1 and 2. And let me see. I'm just looking at what's coming up next. 3 and 4. Okay, let's do at least 4. Page 4. We can do 3 when we get to it in the matting. Okay, 3, you will have seen the walkthrough by now. 3 is the one that has the tent card, the A-frame card, whatever you want to call it. And so it doesn't get just drew a blank. It needs to be matted before we can put the piece down that's meant for it. Okay, so I think that's all I need for 4. Yeah. Okay. So when we do the mats, which we'll do next, we'll put the mat and then we'll add the little card. Okay, so let me make my base. So these are the same base pieces, and how big is this? This looks like 5.5. Yeah, so I'm going to make the base and then trim it down to size. I made one base that was the exact width before I decided to do it this way. Now, the reason I don't normally do it this way is if my base is more than 6 inches wide, I won't do it this way, because that means I have to cut it over 6 inches, and that means I can't get as many base pieces out of a 12 by 12. But in this case, I could still get to across, so. I used to make almost exclusively very small albums, but when I started doing a lot on my YouTube channel, the combination of larger albums are easier to see when I'm doing larger pages. It's easier for you to see what I'm doing if they're bigger. And a lot of people do like to put a lot of photos in their books. I don't, so it wasn't an issue for me, but if you want to put a lot of photos in your books, you need bigger pages. Okay, and I might as well do these while I'm at it. So this is a piece that's 8 by 3. It's going to be a pocket. So we are going to score both short ends at 1/2 inch and one long end. Okay. And then I have a flap, 7 by 5.5, that we are going to score at 1/2 inch. And let me go ahead and tape those before I trim my base. Be careful when you're doing these longer runs of tape not to stretch your tape, because it will distort your piece if you do. It's not as likely to happen on a shorter piece. Okay, so let's make our base and then we'll trim it to size. I literally have no idea if I'm cutting these correctly because I can't see them at all. Okay, I think I did. I think they're all right. lined up my corner. And what I'm going to do here, just pull this up. You don't really, if you're making a page like this, you don't really have to line up your corners, because I'm going to cut them off anyway when I bring this down to 5 by 5 or 5 by 7. So let me go trim that to 5 inches. I'll be right back. Okay. This is page 4. So page 3 is going to go here. We're going to mat it. It's going to turn over. This is page 4. And for this, I want this flap on this side. Okay, on the left side. So this is going to go here and open like this, okay? And this pocket is going to be here, okay? So let's trim the corners of this. So I'm just trimming. It's pretty much the same thing that you do up here, but it's in 2 different directions, if that makes any sense. Okay, I'll try to do this on camera and hope not to botch it. Okay, I think that's all right. And trying desperately to be reasonably neat. Okay. So what I'm going to do, the sides go in first and then the bottom, right? So what I'm going to do is fold in one side and burnish it. Hopefully you can see. And I am going to take my flap, because it's going to go here, and I'm going to lay this down here. Now it's going to be reversed. It's going to go like this. But for now, I'm putting it like this, because I want to make sure that I don't need to make any adjustments to make this fit. And it looks like when I fold this, it's going to be just a little bit big. So when I fold it, I'll show you. So I'm folding it, and then I'm kind of giving it a little tug to make it a little extra folded. If that makes sense, because it's not enough to have to rescore it smaller, but it is enough that I needed to make sure it came over. And that means I'm just going to have to trim out that corner a tiny bit more. And then the bottom of the pocket goes over the sides to give you more volume in the pocket. And I've got just a little dog ear right there, and sometimes you can just use your bone folder to sort of smush it in, but you may need to trim a little extra out of the corner if you have too much, but mine's fine. Okay, now let me check it for fit again. And that is good. Okay. So I'm just peeling back a little bit of this corner and sticking the bottom to it. Same, peel back a little of the back of the tape on the side, stick the bottom, okay. And I'm just going to turn this way to make it easier. And what I want to do is not put this right up against that tab, okay? Otherwise it'll cause problems. So I want it about 1/16 of an inch this way from that fold line, okay? So again, we are going to peel back to expose just the corner. Okay, like that. I gotta pick it up. Okay, just like that. Make sure it's lined up along the side. Come down the other end. Make sure it's reasonably straight and about the same distance. It looks good. Okay. There. There is our pocket. Okay, it's going to go like that. Now the reason we don't put our pocket here is because this is going to open like this, and if this pocket was up here, everything would fall out. Okay. And I'm just going to line these up. Oops, that pocket is hanging out a little bit. Oh well, it's fine. Despite getting it, I can fix that. Despite trying to get it to line up, it is sticking out a little bit. But I don't think it's going to be any kind of an issue except for right there. Hang on. Okay. I may go back and fix that later, but for now we're going to call it done. Ooh. Maybe. You know what? That is really bothering me. It's only sticking out maybe a 32nd of an inch. Not even, but it's bothering me. So I think I'm going to take it off and just fold it in a little bit more so it doesn't stick out. To get it off, use undo. Okay, my deck. So I actually ended up making it a tiny bit short this way, but I'd rather have that than have it sticking out because it's just a hair's breadth and it's fine. Okay, yeah, that was going to drive me crazy. Okay. It's weird. Some things I'll make a mistake and it won't bother me at all. I'll be like, oh, that'll be fine. It's not going to matter. But that tiny little bit of pocket hangout was going to drive me crazy. Okay. All right. So I am going to put this magnet about here. You don't want them too close to the edge. It's too hard to mat. I know I've mentioned that before many, many times, but just you might be new. And let's see what I've got for other scraps over here. This one will do. Okay. And that is going there. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3 is going to have a tent fold card, and 4 has a flap with a pocket. So let me go ahead and grab the mats for these pages. We'll do them. And that'll probably be enough for one day. And then the next video, we'll do the other 2 page bases with their pages and those mats. So I will be back in a second for you, and we'll get these matted. I have picked out mats, so we can go ahead and do that. This is from the 8x8. And I'm trying to decide if I want to ink or not. I'm leaning not. I kind of like the crisp edge on this with the navy, so I think I'm not. Okay, but you do whatever you want. Just making sure I'm putting it in right side up. inside, I have this, and this is actually from the 12 by 12. And we had to use the 12 by 12 for this one in order to get a seam across, because it's wider than 8 inches. That. Now this opens this way, and I have this, which is also from the 12 by 12. Like that. Okay, and then on the other side, I've got her, and she is from the 8 by 8. And then on the inside, this is from the 12 by 12. And you know what, I think you can probably see this just fine, but hang on. Part of the issue I've mentioned before that I just a little while ago that I don't see well, and part of it is that my eyes don't focus well. So I was seeing like 3 edges there, and I'm having trouble getting it lined up. So if you have a similar issue, just a piece of white contrasting paper will sometimes help with that. go. And then turn this sideways to do this one. This one is going to go here. Oh, they're working next door. Right there. Sounded like a drill or something. They must be completely doing over that townhome. I don't know what kind of shape it was in because I never saw it before they started working on it. I've never seen it now. Nobody's been living in it since I moved in, and they've been working on it now for several months, it seems like. Okay, there. Okay, pages 1 and 2 done. Set those aside. Set that aside in case I need it. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna do some fussy cutting on the next page. But this page, this is from the 12 by 12. This is gonna have the what do you call it? Tent card on it. Go. And on this side, we are going to have this one. This is the page that has the pocket on the inside. I just want to make sure I'm doing this right side up. Yeah, okay. And this one is from the 8 by 8. This is actually not the next page. I skipped one. The one with the pocket is actually next. But that was up, so I did that one. Okay, hang on. No, this is the one with the pocket. I'm losing my mind. Okay, no, we're right. Okay, so let's do, now these, okay, this is from the 8 by 8. These are scraps from other pieces that I cut previously. And I think these are both 8 by 8 scraps. It must be, because I don't think I had any 12 by 12s that look like this. Cut. Oops. Let me go ahead and put this one down. This one is going in the pocket. Turn this around so I can get at it easier. This collection is just so pretty. It looks suppose you have to be a fan of blue, but I love blue, so. This is just a little flexible 6-inch ruler. I don't think it's intended to be flexible, but it is flexible, so I use it to burnish inside pockets and things. Okay, then this is from the collectibles. There's a whole sheet of these Eastern Orthodox style churches. So I fussy cut that out, and then I thought it maybe could use a tree. Another tree down here, just a little added interest, but I'm not sure if it really does need it, or if it just, maybe if I tuck it further in, because it looks a little empty right there. So I think that's what I'm just going to put this one right here, and these are both from the collectibles. That's this sheet here. Get a look here, maybe over a little bit. Okay, and you want to make sure you get that glued in really well, because this is going to be a tuck spot, and you don't want things catching up. Yeah, that's better. You can't really see it too much, but it just makes it a little less white. And then I have a little bit fussy cut right there that I just left because it's going to be a little fragile there. And it is going to be a little fragile putting things in and out of this tuck spot, so you're just going to want to be careful about it. Or you could just glue it down fully and have it as decorative. But I am going to do it this way. And I think I'm just going to do a fair bit across the bottom of glue. And maybe, whoa, not that much. Okay, hang on. Okay, here we go. Looks good. Like that. Okay. So we'll open that. We'll have our pocket. And on this side, we're going to have our card, which we will do later. All right. So that, okay, I'm just putting them in the order they're supposed to go in. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I think that'll be enough for today. I will we'll keep going in the next one. So this is a project for Scrap and Create. There's a link down below. You can get your supplies. There is also a link to the free cutting guide for this. Just go ahead and get it. Let's see, what else? I think that's about it. There's all kinds of links down below, discount codes, my Amazon referral list is down below, my Patreon link is down below, so if you have a chance. Also, like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you next time, and we will do the next 2 pages. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.